Now we have done a lot of work here, and so I think it's time to play this back and admire what we've done here. And yes, y'all, look at how cute our dancers look in our little browser window. We're not done yet though, because I am thinking since this is a browser window, we should add a little arrow cursor icon to the bottom right corner. And look at that, I have one right here. I'm just gonna drag it over to our Essential Graphics panel. And now you ain't in the right place, and so let me just scale this guy down. I'm gonna put him down in this bottom right corner, and you need to be rotated toward our browser window. Okay, cool. Except now I'm thinking since we have this drop shadow on our arrow icon here, maybe we should put a matching drop shadow on our browser window. And so to test that out, I'm going to go down to our effects panel and I'm going to search for a drop shadow effect. And now to get this onto our graphic, just like everything else, we've just been dragging and dropping straight into the Essential Graphics panel. And so bam, there is the drop shadow on our browser window. This ain't perfect though, because now that drop shadow is not only being applied to our browser window, but it's also being applied to this cursor arrow down here. And so now we've got this doubled up drop shadow. And so this is happening because this drop shadow effect here is being applied to all of these layers underneath it within this browser window group. And so to fix this, I'm just going to drag this drop shadow effect below our cursor arrow here. And now that cursor arrow is going to be excluded and it's not going to be affected. And if we look in the program monitor, then you'll see that we no longer have that doubled up drop shadow on our cursor arrow. But are we happy with how the drop shadow looks on our window? Well, it doesn't exactly match our cursor arrow yet, and so I want to adjust this effect settings, and that is something that I cannot do over in the Essential Graphics panel. Instead, if I want to control the settings for this effect, I'm going to need to go to the Effect Controls panel. So we're going to hop over there, and no, what's going on here? We got a lot of things happening, and you might be a little confused right now. So I want you to just sit down and take a deep breath because things are about to get real. So we're just going to back away from this for a minute because we got a lot going on here, and we're going to go over instead to this nice simple graphic where all we have here is a dark circle and a light circle. Now you will see as I am clicking between these layers that we can select these layers in the Essential Graphics panel or over here in the Effect Controls panel. And you'll see that if I expand one of these layers over in Effect Controls, then we've got almost all of the same settings over here that we've got over in the Essential Graphics panel. They're just formatted a little bit differently, but they are the same. And so if I go down here in Effect Controls and I adjust the position of this light circle, then you'll see the position values are changing here in Effect Controls, but they are also changing over in the Essential Graphics panel. So that means there is definitely a bunch of redundancy between these two panels. So which one should you use when you're creating graphics? Well, most of the time when I'm creating graphics, I'm working over here in the Essential Graphics panel because this is the only panel where I can create layers and where I can create layer groups and organize them. And I also think it's just a cleaner and calmer space to work in. So like if I click on a layer up here, then down here, I'm only going to see the settings for that layer. I'm not seeing settings for all the layers, whereas over in Effect Controls, once you start expanding layers, then things are going to get messy real quick. But there are a couple times when I do need to jump over to the Effect Controls panel when I'm making a graphic, like if I need to adjust the settings on an effect. So I'm going to show you an example. We're going to go down to the Effects panel here, and we're going to search for an effect called Wave Warp. Now to add this to our graphic, I could drag it to either one of these panels. So I'm going to just drop it here for now, and you'll see that this effect is doing exactly what you would expect. It's creating this wavy warped effect, and it's going to apply on any of the layers that are below it here. And so right now it's above both of these circle layers, so both of our circles are wavy and warped over here, but you'll see that if I drag it down here so that it's only above the light circle, then now that's the only circle that's affected. And I can do this in Effect Controls, but I could also do this over in Essential Graphics. And so let me drag this above both of our circles here. Now, if I want to adjust the settings for this effect though, I can't do that over in Essential Graphics. I can only do that in Effect Controls. And so let's do that. I'm going to go over to this wave warp effect, and we're going to stretch out the height of these waves, and then I'm also going to make the width of them really big, and I'm going to slow the speed down. And if you're confused, don't worry, let me play this back. I'm going to show you what we've done here. We have created a lava lamp, and It's really relaxing to look at. I could totally see you like blurring this up and maybe putting some kind of gradient underneath and masking it and creating a cool background if you wanted to, but we need to move on for now. And so let's get back to why you might want to use that effect controls panel when you're making a graphic. So the other reason why I use this is if I'm creating an animation and I want to fine tune the keyframes of it. Now you can actually animate right from within the Essential Graphics panel. So let me show you. I'm going to select this dark circle layer, and then you'll notice that if I go down here and I hover over this position attribute, it says toggle animation. So if I click on that, then you're gonna see that it's turned blue, which means it's activated. That means it's set a keyframe. And you'll notice that over in Effect Controls, our stopwatch is also blue. And so clicking one of these attribute icons over in Essential Graphics is the exact same thing as clicking and activating this stopwatch icon in Effect Controls. All right, for now though, I'm gonna show you animating just within Essential Graphics. And so I'm just gonna move forward in my timeline a little bit. And then in Essential Graphics, I'm just gonna scoot my horizontal position over a little bit so that my circle goes to the right. And now you'll see if we play this back, we have just animated our circle all within Essential Graphics. Now the problem is though that this animation is looking a little stiff. It's looking a little bit like Pac-Man, right? And so if we want to smooth up the keyframes, that is something we can only do over in Effect Controls. So that's the place where we can curve up that velocity graph. And now if we play this back, you'll see that our circle is gliding in there so smoothly. So just to recap real fast, the Essential Graphics panel is a good place to create layers, organize layers, and adjust graphic settings because it's so clean and calm in that panel. But the Effect Controls panel is the only place where you can adjust settings for effects that you add and where you can fine tune and smooth up keyframes. All right, one last thing about the Effect Controls panel here. I want you to notice that if I select a graphics clip here on my timeline and then I go over to Effect Controls, then you'll see that I've got two sections here. So I've got one for graphics and then I've got one down here for video. But if I go back to my timeline and I just go to a normal video clip, so this is not a graphics clip, then you'll see that in Effect Controls now we've only got one section for video. So what is up with that? Well, let's go back to our graphics clip again where we've got these two sections, and you'll see that under each one of these sections I've got a motion attribute. And so I'm going to expand that for both of them real fast, and I want you to notice that I can adjust the position for this graphic up here in the graphics section, and I can also adjust the position down in this video section. And so it seems like these sections are doing the same thing, but they are different, especially when it comes to this scale attribute. So you'll see that in the graphics section, this motion attribute is called vector motion. And vector is just a fancy way to say that the text and shape layers inside it are going to get bigger, but they're still going to look crisp and clean and not pixelated. Now that is not going to be the case if I make this thing bigger down here. Then now things are not sharp and it feels like we need a pair of glasses, right? And so that means that if I am working on a graphic, then I am usually not touching this section down here. All right, now that we know when to use the Effect Controls panel with graphics, let's go back to our more complex graphic here that we're creating for our nonprofit Move Up crew. And remember, we're trying to get the drop shadow effect that is on this browser window here to match the drop shadow that's on this cursor arrow. And so we're gonna go to this Effect Controls panel that right now has all the things, and we're gonna find that drop shadow effect and expand it so we can adjust it. And then I'm going to adjust the direction of it. And now I'm gonna decrease the distance of it to make it smaller. Okay, now I am not sure that I like this. So let me go up to this effects button and just turn this off real fast and let's compare. And no, I'm not feeling this. And so I think after all of that, I prefer this without the drop shadow. And so let's drop that shadow. Now, since this is a motion graphic, let's add a little motion to this. So I want to make this blob here behind the text move around and look like it's dancing a little bit. And so we're going to do that in Effect Controls so that we can adjust the keyframes in this timeline view if we need. So we'll expand this curvy blob shape, and then we'll turn on animation for position, and then we'll go forward in our timeline a little bit here, and we will move our blob over here, and then we'll go forward again. And I'll just move our blob over here, and we'll just repeat this so that he dances around a little bit. And now let's play that back, and yes, that is cute. Our little blob is doing his thing. He's dancing all over the place under our text, and I'm loving this. So The only other thing I think I want to animate with our background here is our plus patterns in the corner. And so I'll do that really fast. Not going to show you every little step of it. And now I'll play it back and show you what that looks like. And yes, y'all, we are talented. Look at how fancy this is looking. So I think we are almost done here, but I do have one more animation that I want to do. So I want our cursor arrow here to drag open our browser window like this. And then at the end, I want it to close the window. So what do I need to do here? I need to scale up all of the browser window elements, right? So that they start small and then they get big. But this cursor arrow is not changing size, so it's just moving. But I got to get the timing between the window and the arrow just right, which sounds like it's going to be a pain, but I am going to show you a really easy way to do this. So first, let's scale up these window layers. Now, to make that easy, to manipulate all those layers at once, I'm going to group them, and I can only group layers over here in Essential Graphics. And so I'm just going to create a folder here, and I'm going to call this Window Elements. All right, now I'm ready to animate this group and make it scale up and down. And to do that, since that's going to involve keyframes that I'm going to want to smooth out, I'm going to move over to the Effect Controls panel. All right, now over here in Effect Controls, we've got this group of window elements that we just created selected here. And now before we adjust the scale, I want you to notice that when this window is scaling up, it's not scaling from the center, it's actually scaling from that upper left corner. And so as it scales up, we want that upper left corner to stay put the whole time, to stay anchored. And so that means we want to move the anchor point to that upper left corner. And for some reason, when you do this on a graphics clip, it can move some layers out of place, and so that's cool. We just go move them right back where they're supposed to be, and our anchor is still in place. Okay, now we're finally ready to animate the scale attribute for this group of window elements, and so let's expand this group of layers here, and now we can see our scale attribute. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to click this stopwatch here to toggle animation on and to set our first keyframe, but it is not supposed to be over there. It's supposed to be at the beginning of our clip, and so let's move it over here. Okay, so in the beginning, we don't want this window to be seen, and so we're going to set the scale all the way down to 0. Then we're going to move forward in our timeline a little bit to where we want the window to be at full size, and we'll set that scale to 100. Right now we're going to do our outro, so I'll go toward the end of the clip and I will add another keyframe here, and I'm going to leave it at 100% scale to tell Premiere that I want this clip to stay at 100% all the way from this keyframe to this one. And now we'll just move to the end of our clip and we'll set the scale to 0 so that our window sizes down and disappears. But I do want to smooth up these keyframes, and so I'm going to select my 2 starting keyframes here, and then I'm going to right click to change the interpolation, and I'm going to set them to ease out. And then I'm going to go to my ending 2 keyframes, and I'm going to right click and set the interpolation to ease in. And now if I play this back, you'll see that our window is scaling up a little more smoothly in the beginning, and it's looking smooth when it scales down for our outro.